And as many of you people know, I used to do poetry, as bad as they were, 45 years ago, when nobody was doing poetry. When I was like the weird homie, you know, like everybody made fun of me because I would carry books and I would write poetry. I was like, what's wrong with you, homie? You know, but this is what I loved. And I did it when, well, I could beat half the guys, the other half could beat me up. So, you know, most of the guys I could beat up. So you know how that goes. I didn't care what they thought of me. I did it anyway. But to me, it's important because poetry wasn't given to us. You know what I'm saying? We lost the words in our stories, and it's very important to get that. This is what this represents. You all represent the stories that we have to carry forward. A people without a literature is not a full people. And you're proving that everybody has a story. Everybody, don't care what they've been through, can tell something beautiful, right? Amen. Can turn their ugliness into beauty, can turn trauma into art. So I feel like it's all coming together. 30 years ago, I was doing writing workshops in Boyle Heights when nobody else was doing them. I was doing them out of East LA in Boyle Heights. We were doing self-help graphics. We went to Echo Park. I went to my first prison workshop in Chino Prison, when, again, hardly anybody was doing that. Now we've been doing it for years, and now I come back here and I see all you all doing it. This is amazing to me, because when we were doing it, again, what's wrong with you, homie? You know, it's weird, but now it's part of everybody's life. And I just want to mention my mentor at the time, Manasada Gamboa. You guys don't know him, but you should know Manasada, because he went 17 years in the joint, 20 years as a heroin addict. He changed his life. He came and changed people like me. He was one of the guys in the neighborhood. He said, you're not weird. This is what you should do. And he passed on in the year 2000. So I want to mention him because I think his spirit is with us, because he was part of all of this all those years. So I don't want to take up too much more of my time. I just want to honor you for the work you're doing, and honor you for being here. Because people doing this beautiful work, if it ain't seen, it's not coming together. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be heard and seen. And that's what the beauty of all this is. So I'm going to have a poem that I wrote, because as the thing goes, we're transforming, not transmitting trauma. I learned to use my pain, my trauma, my betrayals, my hate into words. And it's really a healing thing, because this is what it's all about. The drums are healing. The singing will be healing. These poetry is healing, and that's what we're all about. If we don't know how to regenerate, then we don't know that we're leaving what God has given us. The most beautiful gift is that we can regenerate no matter how bad things are. And a lot of people don't believe that. They don't think it's possible. And Father G and all of you have proven it is possible. So this is what this says, regeneration. And I'm going to read you a poem that I wrote because I was going to Mexico and Central America, you know, working with a lot of the gang kids there. And I remember seeing all these homeless kids, just homeless, I mean, blocks and blocks of them, sniffing glue. And it broke my heart. I remember one point I was in San Salvador, in the capital, and this little, I think it was a 6-year-old kid and maybe a 9-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid were walking across the street. Cars were going back and forth. They were waiting for an opening, and they were all glued out, and they were holding each other. And as soon as an opening was, they started to cross, and I saw that, and I just began to cry. I was one of those kids. I was one of these glue-sniffing kids here in East LA. And it just hurt me that babies are still being pushed this thing. And so I wanted to write about that because it brought a lot of anger in me. And this is the poem that I wrote. But again, it's about changing. Tell the truth, but then bring that seed of regeneration in there. So the poem is called Civilization. It's an angry poem. It's okay to be angry, right? The idea is to put it in words and not rage, because rage is blind and anger has eyes. Anger has direction. Anger is trying to tell you something, right? It has a source and a direction. But rage is what? You're lashing out. You're hurting people, yourself, others, people you love. So this is an angry poem, but it's not raging. It's a poem that talks about the world that we're in. And sometimes you have to yell out at this world. It has a beautiful words from Fenton Johnson, an African-American poet, who said, "I am tired of building up somebody else's civilization. There are days when sunshine is toxic, when breathing becomes fatal, and the love stares of innocence have fangs. There are days when caresses are lethal drumming and the low murmur of a child's voice is a hand slap of hell flames across my face. When all civilization is a squabble in my partner's gaze and morality is a gun at my head. I didn't make this place. So what if I say you can eat it and choke, this heart a choke, this diet of hypocrisies, this horse feed of fed horses, the salt seasoning all wounds. Tear it down, then wake me up when it's over. Should I care if you don't care? Should I sweat the details when the whole enchilada reeks? Just because you wear a hat and call that fashion, because you love the prison and hate the alien. Don't come to me whining about your lost glories. They are the lashes on slave skin, the gold stolen off the blanket of stones called our land. They are the tongues cut from wiser heads, the deflowered, dehydrated sirens that called you, then were slaughtered. Don't cry for me, Argentina, or Pennsylvania for that matter. You say I'm no good? But my pathologies are what's keeping me from cutting your throats. All enslavers, all exploiters, all engravers of God money. You who see my children and go insane, who wear the flesh of natives like shiny suits, who have black heels in your nightmares, who eat with Chez's severed hands, who feed your wives to dogs on cracked plates, who provide heroin to chiseled daughters, who bathe in the trail of tears, who sold tickets to the Middle Passage, and whose academies hold literature hostage and culture that crumbles in the hand of a glue-sniffing Chicano child. Because that's